Hi, my name's Verz, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of some of the key pieces of street art in Belfast City Centre. So here we've got a piece by Smug One, who is an Australian artist living in Glasgow, and he is world famous for his photorealism. So he is an absolute master of painting human hair, which with a spray can it's a difficult thing to do. You've got pressurised paint, press the button down on top and the paint wants to go like that, and this guy is a genius at reproducing human hair on the face. He is like an A-list celebrity in the world of street art. Very difficult guy to get because he's booked years in advance, and we were lucky enough to get him after chasing him for a few years. This particular piece is called The Chef, and it's a measure of his talent that he hasn't painted the background, so the first lines he puts on when he starts to draw the outline of the chef are the lines he's got to stick with. He's got no room for mistakes. And very often the way that Smug works is he will turn up at a painting event, a graffiti jam, take a photograph of some random person at it and then paint them on a wall, which has happened twice now to two of my friends when he's painted in Ireland. So this piece behind us is by Conor Harrington from Cork, who is quite famous for painting very militaristic and testosterone-laden pieces of art. And this is called The Duel, and it's all about the end of the British Empire. So the guy seated on the left represents the British Empire. He's looking on incredulously at these two guys who are having a play mock fight. Picture actually oozes with testosterone. The only female thing about it is the female deer is lying dead on the ground, which they probably killed in one of their little jolly hunts during the day. So they're using black and white and using dripping paint to sort of reflect that kind of decay and end times and distant memories. So this is one of my pieces. I paint dogs almost exclusively, and I use dogs as a metaphor for not judging people by how they look. I paint Dobermans, Staffies and Rottweilers, and this particular piece is called Hanks for the memories because the dog's called Hank, and it has become a bit of a shrine in Belfast for Staffy owners in particular. It's also featured in some YouTube videos of skateboarding bulldogs and so on, and it's become quite famous on the internet as well because it's just such a happy, colourful image. So this is a piece by a French artist called MTO, and it's actually called The Son of Protagoras, not to be confused with the mathematician Pythagoras. Protagoras was a Greek philosopher who was the first person in written recorded history to question the existence of God. So this is the son of Protagoras, who has found this dead dove. Obviously it represents peace, and it's been killed by two arrows, one representing Protestantism, one representing Catholicism, and this is supposed to be the future. This is the next generation, this little guy, and there's no chance for peace because the dove is dead, and he's actually staring straight across at St Anne's Cathedral, which is the centre of Christianity in Belfast, and that is the take on Christianity has ruined any chance of peace in Northern Ireland. So big splash of colour now from the English artist Dank, who paints under the name of Dank, and quite a lot of his work revolves around images from the Far East. He loves Japan in particular, loves neon, loves wet surfaces, and loves scenes that are painted at night. So that whole drippy paint thing where it reflects wet ground and wet surfaces, he just loves playing around with that. And you know, we were very lucky to get him in Belfast City Centre, which obviously is full of street art and not so much paramilitary stuff. The paramilitary stuff tends to be on the outskirts of Belfast in the housing estates, and I suppose paramilitary murals are designed to either make you feel safe if you're from that community or make you feel alienated if you're not from that community. So what we do with street art is we put it in the public domain, and it's to be enjoyed by everybody. It's not politicised, although Northern Ireland does have a reputation for our walls being politicised, which is why it's on the bucket list of every street artist around the world. For years our walls have been so politicised. They flash around on news stories around the world as a backdrop for something bad that's happened in Belfast. No, and we're trying to get away from that. We're trying to reinvent Belfast as a positive place to come to. So finally, we have a piece by the Irish artist EBOOKS, and what is it? It's a head wrecker, but it's also a measure of the man's skills with the spray can. Very often street artists are regarded as bottom of the feeding chain when it comes to the art establishment, simply because a lot of them don't work through the gallery system. The street is their gallery. But this just shows you what you can do with a spray can. This is an apex A-list artist from Ireland who's got a global reputation, and for me it is one of the finest pieces in Belfast, simply because I keep returning to it to look at it again and again, and that's what good art should do. You should look at it again and again rather than just pass it by. So I hope you've enjoyed our little tour of street art in Belfast. If you want to see any more of the 150 pieces we've got in Belfast City Centre, you can book a weekly tour through Seedhead Arts, and you can follow my street art journey at Verz Belfast on Instagram.